I had my own little and I had two people walk out behind me. Like, this was all unplanned. And that was when I had to make a decision of, am I going to go work somewhere else or am I going to open up my own thing?
Hey everybody, Patrick Merrill, selling the beautiful Gulf Coast. Welcome to this episode of Lift It. We have Megan here with us. Megan, where are you from?
I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania, up by the Great Lakes.
Okay. What kind of weather y'all having up that way?
Luckily, it is actually nice now. We get snow and rain for about 6 months of the year.
Okay.
So it's not pleasant from about November, December until May. And then all of a sudden in June, July, you finally get some nice weather for about another 6 months.
Well, that's good. So half the year good and half the year not so good.
Yep.
I could say that.
You got it.
Well, yeah, we're down here on the Gulf Coast. I'm over here in Pascagoula, which I tell everybody it's between Biloxi and it's also between Mobile. I'm at like 20, 30 minutes. I could be at either place. And that's one reason I jumped out. I do real estate. I've been doing this for 16 years. And I always wanted to get my Alabama license because we're so close. I mean, 15, 20 minutes, I'm in Alabama. Yeah. And a lot of my buyers, if I don't have it here, they're going to jump next door because it's so close. So yeah. I got Alabama. And then I stayed in Florida all the time as much as I can. I love going to the beach. I've been doing that since I was 15 down there. And that's an hour and a half, 2 hours away. I'm on Florida. So I sat down there. I call it my rolling beach house, which is my RV. And I set it up for months at a time. So I'll set it up 4 months out of the year down there. So I was like, I might as well get my license in Florida. It makes sense, because they do a lot of open houses, which I like doing them because it's different there doing open houses than here. I mean, it's a constant thing down there with all the condo sales and all that. So I'm like, if I just went and did that a couple times a month, when I'm down here, or if any friends call me that need something, I can always help them and refer out that way as well.
It's very common in the mortgage industry to have your license in multiple states because most people can work virtually. So it is a very common thing. Whereas you guys, it is a little different, right?
It is a little different. I can tell everybody the work is on the road. We stay and we go, the work is on the road. I actually like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, you guys couldn't do all the time what we do because we're at a desk, which would drive a lot of you nuts.
I tried drafting one time and I was like, the teacher's like, Patrick, what's wrong? I said, I can't do this for 4 hours. He said, you got to understand, you're going to be sitting there for 8 hours at a drafting table.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. I mean, I was bouncing off the walls, and I was a casino dealer as well here for 16 years until that lovely Katrina came and remodeled our Gulf Coast. So I did that too. So it was like you said, you were there 8 hours behind that table. Thank goodness we got a break every hour. It seemed to help. But that industry I love because you meet people from all over. I've met a lot of people, and go back to what you were saying when you could work from home. A lot of people moved here to Mississippi as well when they found out. We went back and we clarified, and our boss said we could work anywhere from home. So that was actually one of my busiest years, and I thought it was going to be a horrible year, but we had a lot of people move here. Especially Colorado. We had a lot of people from Colorado move this way. It seemed like they were saying everybody from California was moving to Las Vegas. So all the people in Vegas was moving to Colorado. So Colorado came to the Gulf Coast because they're shocked at our prices when you see what we have, and our weather's usually good unless, it's muggy, but a couple months out of the year, you can deal with it. It's not bad here. I enjoy it.
What is your average sale price?
On the whole Gulf Coast, what's that, about 300?
Okay.
Kind of getting worried because I hope we're not going to go through a lot of repos. I did talk to a guy in Alabama the other day, and he said, Patrick, I have like 63 or 65 repo properties coming. And I'm like, and Mobile's a big area, but I'm like, that's almost like flooding your market with repos. He's like, yeah. He said, they've been sitting on them. And now that he's mentioned that, when I'm riding around, I see Grass is growing a little bit higher, windows. I'm like, oh, what is going on? I think a lot of it's insurance.
Sure.
Let me ask you this. I love to see how other people, my taxes on my house here is say about 1,500 a year. And my insurance is about 3,000 a year. What does that look like where you are as far as taxes and insurance?
Yeah. So in Pennsylvania in general is a lower cost state. So it's why I learned how to build a very efficient business because we're all about units. So
Mm-hmm.
when I was building my business in the area I'm in, our average sale price was around 150 to 160,000. It's now up to about 210,000. So it's gone up. And on a house that is around that price range, like that's not a starter home. I would say something in the 215, 250 range is a slightly bigger house. The taxes on that are going to be somewhere around 4,000. Yeah, our taxes are definitely higher in Pennsylvania, and our insurance is lower than what you mentioned
Okay.
because you don't have as many of the natural disasters. So I would say your insurance on that might be around, 1,000 a year.
Oh, well, that ain't okay. So that kind of washes between the tax and the insurance, almost the kind of the same here. And
Yep.
then, of course, I love to always ask car tags.
Car
Are they
tax.
outrageous? Yeah.
Gosh, the last car I bought was 2 years ago. I don't even
Y'all don't
know.
have
That's
to put them
horrible.
every
That's
year?
horrible. I don't
No,
even know.
well, we have to do it every year. We have to, do y'all not renew or do y'all renew every year? Really?
You do your registrations, but no, not that I can think of. And I hate saying this, you know, with as busy as I am now, my assistants will do this stuff, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't remember us
Right,
having
right,
to
right.
pay stuff for renewing the car tax. So I don't think we have that.
Okay. I just got one in yesterday and that popped in my head. I was like, I've always heard everybody else is cheap because ours are kind of like high. Like if you go get a new vehicle, depending on the
Mm.
vehicle, if it's over 70 or 80,000, you're looking at probably 1,600 for a car tax down here
Every year?
every year. It goes down the longer you have the vehicle, of
That is
course.
really interesting.
Yeah. So if you had a vehicle that was like, say, 20 years old, and I think that might go under the antique car tag. So you could get it like maybe $10 or $20 a year, I believe. But most of the time, yeah, on your personal vehicle, using it until it's really, really old. Oh yeah.
That's really interesting. I
I didn't
wouldn't have
mean to throw you
ever.
out there with that. I was like, things like that really it interests me. Like some people. I mean, we deal with termites here on the coast. A lot of people up north, they're like, "What's you talking about?" It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, we don't have the termites. We have stink bugs.
oh, we had them too, and them darn mosquitoes. Them things fly around here like they're got like a big old plane coming through.
Yep.
I'll tell
Yep.
you what. So you do. Let's talk about your company. You've been doing this what 20? Was it 20 years?
22 years ago is when I
22.
got into the mortgage industry.
And I take it you like it, enjoy it. You've helped people with are you helping people like, can you build portfolios for people? Like if I say, come to you and look, I want to get I want to get property management going. How do I start with that? How do I do my financing?
Yeah. So yeah, I started 22 years ago. My husband was the one who I moved to his hometown and his family sold real estate. I was actually in accounting and I was absolutely petrified to go to a commission-based
Mm,
job from having a very solid job in accounting. And he was the one who really kind of like kicked and pushed me over the ledge, but I loved it. Like I just remember so clearly when I went into the industry, with it being commission based and getting paid based on how hard you worked or how well you did,
mhm.
like the days just flew by. I felt like I'd go in and all of a sudden it was 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. And so I fell in love with the industry. I liked the fast pace of it. I liked, having the freedom to build my own book of business. And my husband and I at the time were building a real estate portfolio too.
Okay.
That's what we thought our retirement would be. And so, and what was really neat was very quickly, I would say within 2 to 3 years, I doubled and tripled my income from what it was in the accounting field. So I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I was 24 when I switched over. And
Your husband
so
pushed you in the right way, didn't he?
He did. He did. He's, having somebody that encourages you in our industry, I think is important because there are a lot of things that are not like other jobs.
No, no. It's definitely a up and down. You love it one day and kind of hate it for 2 days and back to loving it again. It definitely is. And a lot of this, you really, like you are, you build, you started and went with it. You didn't wait for it to fall your way. You built yourself to where you are, and your husband as well, and that
Yeah,
makes a big, and when you like what you do, it makes a big difference.
it does.
My phone rings all the time, and I'm fine with it. I'll answer it. I don't care. I've answered calls at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you'd be surprised when people get bored and call and ask crazy questions, but it's amazing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It was our life for years, and so,
hmm
we first worked for somebody else's company, and, it was my husband who first him and his family had a team. They left and started their own, what's called a boutique brokerage now,
okay.
a real estate brokerage, and, I didn't think about owning my own business, although I should've, and I had a big enough book of business, and, when people ask me about, like, what my journey was, like, going out and starting to become a business owner, I'm like, I was really embarrassed for years about, like, sharing my journey about it because I didn't make some, like, big brave move to
hmm
leave the company and go start my own mortgage company. I actually the owner of the company that I worked for thought I was starting my own company when I took kind of a little bit of a break
hmm
from working as hard. I was their top producer. He thought I was starting my own company and came in and fired me one day. And
Really?
yep, I had my own little Jerry and I had 2 people walk out behind me. Like, this was all unplanned, and that was when I had to make a decision of, am I gonna go work somewhere else or am I gonna open up my own thing? And I had not been completely happy where I was working, but I was afraid of starting my own business. I was so busy that
hmm
I hadn't put enough thought into it. So, yeah, that's what led me into opening my first mortgage brokerage. So I tell
Wow.
people, I'm like, listen, I was forced into it. So I get being nervous about making that
I
step.
love it. So you could almost say, like I said, I always try to find the positive in everything. If your boss wouldn't have fired you, you might still be sitting there. So, I mean, everything happens for a reason, right? I mean, he pushed
And
you in
I
the
am
right
such an
direction.
entrepreneur now. I start businesses
Yes.
left and right. Like, yeah, it was. Everything does turn into a positive thing. I mean, it wasn't even the firing, and then he sued me. So had a lawsuit that hit me. It was crazy.
Was he thinking you were trying to take his business with you, or?
Yeah, he was very intimidated by me. And when my family started their own real estate company, he didn't want me to leave because I was working. It's the same person who
hmm
he owned a one-stop shop. So he owned real estate, mortgage, title, and
Wow.
he knew how much money you could make doing those things. And so, I always say you either learn from people, you either have mentors that you learn from, or you learn what you are not going to be like when you lead your own companies. And I can definitely
Uh,
say that, I mean, the positive, though, out of all of that was when you go through some really stressful things like that in business, it puts things in perspective.
mhm.
And it's something I talk to, like, my other owners or my teams about. I'm like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, are you getting sued? No. Okay. Is someone dying? No, that's a 10. So a nasty email or whatever it is, where does that go on the scale? Oh, that's a 2. Okay. So let's put this in perspective on how we're going to respond to it.
That's a good idea. I started thinking about that the other day because it's like, I have issues with my feet, my back, and blah, blah, blah. Everything's falling apart. So I got tickled. So I told a friend of mine, I said, look, when you're calming, I'm not going to go into detail. If I tell you I'm a 1, that means it's a good day. If I say it's just a 2, medium day. If I say it's a 3, don't call me back. You know? But it's
Yeah.
like, it's just like, it's weird. I love that. I love that he kind of pushed you in the way that, and look at you. If it wouldn't have been for them, I mean, you probably would be, but you just never know. I still like going to that, going, you know what? So grateful for that extra. God works in many ways, and you usually don't see it at that moment. And like you said, as soon as you got out there, you didn't have time to think about what he had did to you because you jumped into busting your butt, making your business, and putting you where you are now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
being able to work for yourself and have your own business is a great thing. I mean, it gives you the advantage of, like you even said, you can change your whole home life around it, the kids' schedules and things like that. Like I tell everybody, look, I'm good. I don't mind working nights and weekends. You go to work and make the money. My schedule's easier to change than theirs when you work on a 9 to 5 job. So I'll tell a
Yeah.
lot of my buyers, look, let's just go, let's do it on your lunch. Or I'll go look, see if it's worth your time taking off an hour to go look at it.
Hmm.
Now, with your business, do you take on, like, if somebody called you and said, look, I want to start a book of business and tell me how it works. If I came to you and told you, look, Megan, here, just tell me what I need to do.
So, yeah. So once I opened our mortgage brokerage, so at real estate agents, right? When you are working with clients, those clients are going and working with a mortgage person,
Mm-hmm.
right? They work with a mortgage person, an insurance person, the escrow agent or title.
Yes.
So I opened a mortgage brokerage and it, we helped buyers, people who bought their homes, bought investment properties. And I did that for many years at a very high level.
Nice.
I grew a team, right? And that's where freedom can start coming in when you have a book of business, is when you build a big team and you do a lot of business, you start, that's when I started having more freedom because I had people
Mm-hmm.
helping do that job for me. And I never thought I would not be originating loans, being a loan officer myself, because I was very good at it and I loved it. But after opening 3 brokerages, because I kept trying to go back and figure out, because it's hard, right? It's hard building
Yes.
a business and nobody teaches you how to do it, especially in our industry. You just have to figure it out. It was about 3-4 years ago, you know, after opening multiple brokerages, being successful at it, people started coming to me and saying, like, how do I do this? And I had this aha moment when we had these recruits who were going to come into our mortgage brokerage, and they closed a lot of business. They closed pretty close to what my team did. And I remember sitting in this meeting with them, and they're, because loan officers will leave, if they're in a retail bank or wherever, and they'll, especially right now, they look to go into mortgage brokerages
Mm-hmm.
because we have better rates, we have more products. And I was sitting there and these 2 guys were asking us questions. And I finally was like, listen, I'm a straight shooter. I'm like, I just need to ask you, like, why don't you just open your own brokerage? I'm like, you do enough business. I'm like, you literally would open your doors with the revenue right off the bat. Like, why wouldn't you consider doing that? And they were like, we just don't even know where to start. Like, we don't know who to talk to. We don't know the vendors. And that's what led to what I do now, which is I help people open their own mortgage brokerages. I help loan officers. I help real estate brokers, real estate investors. I help them open mortgage brokerages. And then I have a team that actually runs their back office for them
Oh,
so that
nice.
they can focus on the sales side.
Very nice. Was it hard letting go of the work that you were used to doing and pushing, say, here, just take care of this for me type thing? You seem like a hands-on person, like, just here, let me do it myself.
Uh,
I do,
no,
because
it wasn't as hard as I think it is for some people. So I call it the pregnancy push. So I have 4 kids, and when I hired a team and my business started growing, when I started working with my first coach, I was pregnant with my 3rd, and I had, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, and he looked at me and said, "You need to go out and hire yourself." And I'm like, "That's going to be very expensive." And he's like, "Yep, go find yourself a loan officer to work on your team." And I did. And as soon as I hired her, he's like, "All right, go hire another one." And he made me hire 3 people in 90 days. And this is when I owned my business. And I thought I was going to be poor and make no money. Um, and it was the first year my business grew by 30 or 40%. And I didn't even work for probably 4 months of it, having a baby.
oh, wow.
And when they started working, I will never forget it. I put headphones on because I could not listen to how they talked to my customers. They didn't do anything wrong. It just wasn't me.
It wasn't your way. Yeah.
So to answer
I
your question, it was hard back then. But now it's very easy for me to delegate things because I'm better at doing it. I know how to delegate more. and I know how to communicate. I think a lot of delegation fails because of the person delegating, not necessarily the person trying to do that, the help or the work for you.
Not so much the product, more of the individual. Not that
Mhm.
I'm just as bad. It's like it kills me when I can't go show a house or something's coming up, and especially I work with a lot of first time buyers, and I love their young energy, exciting to get out there and get going.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, it's fun to me, and like investors when they come and they're like, "Look, this is what I got. This is what I spend." It's like, okay, that puts me on my mission. It's like, okay, this is my goal for this investor. Let me find 5 or 6 properties that they can get into at the number they want, get the rent they want.
Yeah.
It's an interesting business. It really is. And like you said, there's so many places if anybody even wants to be in real estate. Like I said, I've been 16 years. I've always wanted to do this, but I just never had the right moment. And like I said, I love doing what I was doing. I was dealing cards 8 hours a day. I was dealing roulette, you're
That
parked
is
in
a
the
fun
covered
job.
garage, it's they basically dress you, feed you, and everything else. So it's like you're inside all day, you're playing cards all day, you're playing with chips all day.
That's
And
fun.
it was a fun job, but it was very hard for me to get out of it because the atmosphere. It's like, yeah, I drove 20 minutes to work every afternoon and I would my music and I was like, all right, I get to work and it's like it's showtime. Because basically, you're
Mhm.
still dealing, but you still got to be entertaining as well and just be cordial with people. And I loved it. That was right up my alley. That was a perfect job for me.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, the older we get, the more we get more aches and pains. It's like, all right, let me rethink this. So that turned it back around to getting into this because it got to the point, leaning, I'm tall, I'm at 6'4", so leaning over those tables, especially on roulette and some of the blackjack tables, by the end of the day, my back was just done.
Yeah,
And it's
sure.
like, this is just not, I like doing what I'm doing, but this is not a good life for me because of what's causing how I feel when the work day was done and just
Mhm.
having to go home. And, it got more where I was having to go home almost every night and, eat a muscle relaxer or get on the heating pad. And I'm like, this is not time for a change.
Mhm.
So
That's when
I'd
you
been
got
on
into real estate, right?
and I did, and I mean, it's different. Like I said, it took a while to get used to managing your money because, yeah, we don't get paid if we don't sell nothing. So it's kind of like you learn, like, okay, you got that. Let's make this last for 2 or 3
Yeah.
months,
Yep.
and it's hard getting started. But once you get in, I think you get with the right people, which I was. It helped me a lot. And going back to what you're talking about, just listening to people, I get so much information just sitting back and listening when we're showing houses. I can hear the wife saying something about that kitchen. So, all right, so I know I need to focus more on the kitchen part of the house and things like that. So
Yeah.
are you taking on, like, if people want to come work with you, are you taking on people? And are you licensed in other states there, or are you just keeping it right there, local?
So yeah, I my original mortgage brokerage is still run by my business partner.
Yeah.
And then we launched our franchise, which is where we help loan officers, real estate professionals open their own mortgage brokerages. And so I don't anymore. So my franchise business is, I mean, we do consulting and operational support for our brokers. So I'm not doing loans anymore. I don't have time to do loans because, we launched last year in 2025 and we have a total of around 25 brokerages that we
Okay.
are managing. So
Wow.
we are the second model that is doing this in the country. So it's a big need, I think. If you look at all the successful companies out there in real estate, do they have a mortgage division?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, well, a lot of the builders are doing it. Use
Correct, and so
us.
my model is helping the smaller, I would say, I help the people, I call it the boots on the ground, all of us who we've been on this hamster wheel, and that's the only way we can make money is by selling, 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 selling. What
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing is teaching people how to build a business that can hopefully help them have freedom.
It seems like no matter what part of this business you're in, it is a lot of educating,
Mhm.
because a
Oh,
lot, and
yeah.
I try, we're limited sometimes on the things we can say and tell buyers and stuff like that. Sometimes I just cringe and it's like, you really like that color? But I learned too, don't say nothing about no wall color because my God, one show and I was talking so ugly about this wall and they're like, I kind of like it.
Yeah, no, you
Like,
can't do that.
well, I guess you could live with it, but no. Now, do
Always
you mainly in your state or can you go anywhere with your
No,
company?
we actually we've helped everyone who we work with is in other states. So
Nice.
I've got brokers in California, Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida. Trying to think here. I'm missing some states. Oklahoma, um, North Carolina, South Carolina. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, I would
You're
say
everywhere.
yeah, mainly in the lower part of the country. The more northern states, northeast and northern states are the states that we haven't connected with people yet who are looking to open in those states, which is more common. There's not as many mortgage brokers in the in the more northern and northeast states, but hopefully that will change.
Do you, as far as back on the lending part of it, do you have, is your competition with builders workable? Or, I mean, because I know about a month ago, I got one buyer into a 3.99 for 30 years fixed. You just don't hear that much.
Mhm.
So they were running that special. And I'm like, that's got to hurt lenders as well. I mean, do
So
y'all?
what happens, we have we have a builder in Texas, and a lot what builders do is to sell their properties, especially, and that's where owning the mortgage company can really become an
Mm-hmm.
advantage because then they'll do like these buy downs on the rates. They'll bundle buy downs on rates, or they don't care as much to make money in this area as long as they can sell the house.
Yes.
And does it
Okay.
hurt other mortgage professionals? Yeah, it does. How I look at it is like you can fight it or you can join it. So that's where, like, for me, I worked with real estate brokers and agents. Like, that's what helped me grow my business. So I pretty much created a business that allowed them to be part of what I do because I think that's where we can all win together.
I agree. I agree. And I mean, I think people do better helping each other out in the long run than not helping each other. Like me,
Hmm.
I think there's enough of business out there for everybody. I don't want it
Yep.
all. I just want enough to do what I
Yep.
want to do. That's all I
Right.
need. I don't have to have every sale. And that's what's helping me learn to some of my time, one agent years ago, she sat there, she said, you need to think about your time being spent. What is your time being spent best at?
Yep.
Are you better to go spend 2 hours detailing your vehicle or paying somebody to detail your vehicle and you do your
Hmm.
networking? And I didn't ever think about it like that. And then I was like, okay, that makes sense. So me, instead of pulling these weeds in my front yard, of course, I look for a reason anytime to pay somebody to do that. So
See, now I
it,
enjoy pulling weeds.
that to me is like that is being grounded to me, and it's just like back to nature, pulling what love redoing pots and plants and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I love it. Not so much anymore, but I used to love doing that.
No, and you're right, like, picking the things that actually and that's all about, once again, going back to delegating, building a team, figuring out, and so, like, I learned as I went along after getting really good at sales. Well, the way you get really good at business is by creating systems and having your team start doing things. So, since we're talking about this, my team this week, I gave them all a time tracker and they're recording what they're doing every 15 to 30 minutes because I want to look at what they're doing and see if it's
Mm-hmm.
not just me, but the people that am mentoring. I need to look at what they're doing because we all have things that we could hand off and spend our time better at.
No, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I
And
think,
so
and even
we're doing that right
education,
now. So I know they love it when I make them do that,
I bet
but
they do.
that's how you make your business better.
It's like she put a chip in me. She knows where I'm at.
I
Get
wish.
out of that line at Taco Bell and go to work.
Mhm. Yep.
I think though, and even having the right attitude and going into this, and some people just we've had a lot of agents come along with, unfortunately, we've lost a lot of agents have gotten out of it because it's hard to make it sometimes in this business. But that's the thing, is staying out there and being in front of your people and trying to make a difference even in people's life. And like what I was talking about, working with those first time home buyers, that enjoyment they get is just so exciting for me. I love it. I love it.
Mhm. Yeah, those are like your favorite clients to work with.
Yeah, they're just fun, and the
Mhm.
energy, and it's just like as soon as they walk in that house and you see the expression, you're like, this is the one. I mean, you know, it's like your house tells you when you walk in. I've been in many houses. Of course,
Yep.
I've seen a lot of many houses that I wish they were mine, but they say no, not with your paycheck. So,
Yeah, mine ended up I liked working with first-time home buyers, but my favorite clients that if I was still originating, I really started enjoying working with investors and self-employed borrowers. I was really good at it, I think, from my accounting days, and it's a specialty in the mortgage world because you have to know how to read tax returns and do kind of
uh-huh.
geeky stuff. So I enjoyed that, and that's you know, they would come to me after somebody would turn them down and they'd be frustrated or embarrassed, and I could turn that around. So for me, that was, one of my favorite groups to work with.
I like being positive. Love being around positive people. Say it
Yeah.
helps. It really does, you know. And I tell people. Somebody asked me the other day, "He's like, what should I do?" I'm like, "It's hot in it, yeah." So well, just go somewhere and walk around. Just sit in the park with your name tag on it, eat a sandwich or something. You know, you can go. I mean, I've been doing. We have to do C&E every couple of years, so I did that all weekend. It's like it's when it gets really nasty out and hot. It's like perfect time to do classes and learn and schedule.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
it's hard to get used to here because for so many years we always knew our seasons, so to say. When
Mhm.
school was out for spring break, everybody was looking for houses so they could move when they were out of school for the summer. But now the summer period's not that big anymore, so we're always trying to figure out, hmm, it's just you can't really track it. You just never know when you're going to be busy.
Yeah.
You really don't. You just got to be prepared for it.
Mhm. I
Well,
agree.
I probably kept you on here too long. It's almost 30 minutes. Tell you, I don't stop talking once I get going.
It's fun.
Tell us a few more minutes how we can reach you, and the team will put all your information when they do the video. Our videos come out on Wednesdays. So they will reach out and get all the information they need so we can put you down so people can reach you.
Yeah.
And if there's anything specific I didn't ask or anything you want to hit on, go ahead and tell us. And
No, the reason why someone would connect with me is if they're looking to get into or open in the mortgage industry, open their own mortgage business. And the best way most people find me, connect with me and my team we have a YouTube channel and that YouTube channel, the handle is Mortgage Business Academy. um, or the Lab Mortgage and Real Estate Business Academy. You can look that up, and there's ways to connect with our team on there because there's nobody else putting content out there about what we do. So that would be the best way. Or you can always go to the website, which is collabblendingfranchise.com, I think. We have so many websites now.
it's hard to keep up. It really is. What my favorite one, I kept trying to figure out a domain name. I played on GoDaddy all afternoon trying to get a name, and I couldn't figure it out. I tried Patrick every which way, and
Yeah.
then something sad. Now this is back when I still love my cold beer every day. After about 12 Miller Lights, I sat in front of that computer, and it's probably like 11 o'clock, and I looked at my phone, and I was like, let's stop. So I typed in my telephone number, and it worked. I had
Hmm.
no idea a telephone number, you could do that as your .com.
Hmm.
And I was like, huh. I said, most people already have my telephone number when I meet them. So I was able
Yeah.
to use that as my www.228-712-5555.com. It just, that was a long day, but
Yeah.
I got it. Well, definitely, I say let's do this again in 4 or 5 months and see where we're at and how we're doing. And I will definitely check out your channel.
Yeah, yeah, I think I was gonna say you've got a really good team. They've got a good system down. I'm into systems, so whoever you're working with or whoever you have who's doing that, They do a very nice job.
Definitely. And I will definitely get with you on that, what we were talking about, the company. Perfect. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming along. Y'all, please stay lifted. Hopefully you get a little something out of it. If nothing else, some good education. Education's good. Thanks
That's
for
right.
watching, everybody. Y'all be
Thanks,
safe.
Patrick. Have a
Thank
good
you.
rest of your day.
You
All
too.
right. Bye, everyone.
Thank y'all again for taking the time to come along my venture with me. I am Patrick Merrill, and I hope you have been lifted. If not, let me know. We'll figure out a way. There's always a way. Thank y'all again for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and tell your friends. Y'all have a great day.